Hi, I'm B.A. Shepherd. Welcome to iDominateLife, my daily video blog of encouragement and empowerment. Today, I'm continuing my talk on what you see is what you get. I initially had thought that I was going to be finished with the topic, but as you see, what you see is actually what you get, and I ended up seeing more. So there's more to talk about. It's funny, I've heard that story about the guy Peter and the other gentlemen that are on the boat. I've heard it so many times, but I didn't really see so much in it until now, because I had never really just looked at it and analyzed it and thought on it over and over again. And so if you haven't seen the earlier videos this week about what you see is what you get, I encourage you to check them out so that this will even make more sense. But perspective in your vision is so important because it causes you to make changes and decisions that can alter your life. And in the story that I shared, Peter being on the boat and deciding to step out of the boat and beginning to walk on water, his vision saw one thing. And even though he was in the situation with other people, his vision said, I can step out of the boat in the middle of a storm and walk on water. And so sometimes it's said that there's two sides to every coin, but that's not true. There's more than two sides to a coin. There's perhaps left side and the right side. There's the inside. There's the sliver that actually divides the sides, in half. So there's more than one side. And in this story, there's another perspective where this perspective of the guys on the boat. They have a point of view too. And know that as you move forward in your life and you make changes, there will be people that will be spectating. There are people right now in your life that could make choices to step outside of their individual boat in life, to step out in the middle of a storm to make something happen. Right now, across the country, around the world, there are people facing storms, whether it be financially, health-wise, relationship-wise. And so often, in the middle of the storm, we just stay in the storm. We become afraid, like those guys, they became afraid, and we become paralyzed, and we just stay there. And so the beauty of perspective says that we can see those guys. Those guys were on the boat. Here's Peter deciding to step out of the boat and start walking on water. Well, that was unheard of. That's not common. And for you don't have to live a common life and just stay on the boat with the other people because that's what everybody does. If we all go fishing today, most of us are going to stay on the boat and we're not going to try to walk on water. But in that moment, Peter saw something more and he did it. And think about those guys that were on the boat. Now, it doesn't say this in the story if you read it, but they were real people. So, more than likely, while Peter was getting out of the boat, now imagine, let's just picture ourselves being there. Here we are, we're on the boat in the storm, and all of a sudden, one of our friends decides that he's going to get out and start walking on water. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty confident that his friends were calling him nuts. They were probably saying, Peter, what are you doing? I'm sure they were urging him, get back in the boat. Man, what are you doing? That's not safe. That's unsafe. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. And I'm sure they were going through, perhaps saying all these different things. And not to mention what they were thinking on the inside. They just had to be thinking, man, he about to die. Here he is, getting out of the boat on the storm. He's about to die. And so all this is happening. And they're thinking all these things. And people think things about you that are not where you are. They're not stepping out and moving in actions the way you are. And I'm sure they think that you're crazy. But guess what? It doesn't matter because it's your life. Peter decided that he would rather die trying to walk on water than drown staying on a boat. And that's you. See, I believe, this is what I believe. I believe people that watch these videos are people that are destined to make some changes in their life. So I'm telling you directly, the reason that you're watching this video is because you needed someone just to tell you that you stepping out into the thing that everybody thinks is crazy, it's really okay. It's really, you're writing the script of your own life. And so that's a powerful thing because now, just like in the story, only Peter will be able to say, I stepped out of the boat. I did something. I made something happen. All the other guys, all they can say is, remember when Peter did that? Now Peter's world famous. We're talking about him like hundreds of years later, he's famous for stepping out of the boat, walking on water. The other guys, who knows them? We don't know them because they stayed on the boat. They didn't, in a moment that was an unbelievable moment, they didn't take and create an unforgettable action. They didn't do that. And you have the opportunity to either listen to the crowd, listen to the masses, or you can step out on what you believe, on the faith that you have, to make something happen in your life. It's the difference between living that mediocre, mundane life that really is uninspiring, or doing something that just breathes life. It breathes life into yourself, but what Peter did is breathing life into us, because we're using his story to say, look, if he did it, we can do it, and you can do it. And so I just want to encourage you that their perspective on the boat is going to be completely different. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person always looking at the other person making moves. Tell you a quick story. I met a young lady one day who was an engineer. She was, making good money and everything else. And I asked her, I said, what's your dream? And she said that her dream was to be a florist. But she wouldn't be a florist because her parents told her that there's no money in that. But even though that was where her passion was. So she became an engineer instead of a florist. And so she decided that she was going to live a miserable life being a florist, being an engineer instead of being a florist. And then after we talked, I don't know what happened to her, but I would like to think that perhaps she went and did something, being a florist. But even if she didn't, the story stuck out in my mind that sometimes we'll listen to the people on the boat and not do the thing that's passionate, that's in our hearts to do. And so there's a calling upon your life, a calling that is calling you out from where you are into an unbelievable experience. I hope you answer that call and dominate life. Thanks for joining me today. Talk to you next time. See you.